We're here to celebrate the 2009 Naidoc Awards. Each year, these prestigious awards recognise outstanding achievers in the Indigenous community, and this year is no exception. But before we get the awards underway, we'd like to take a moment to look back on some previous award recipients and take pride in the fact that Naidoc Award winners never stop achieving. Patrick "Paddy" Mills won the Naidoc Sportsperson of the Year in 2006. In 2007, Paddy was called up by the Boomers, making him the youngest ever to play for the senior Australian basketball team. He was a member of the Australian squad that made it to the semi-finals of the Beijing Olympics in 2008. And recently, Paddy attained a career high when he was picked to play in the NBA for the Portland Trail Blazers. Congratulations, Paddy, on reaching your goal. 2006 Naidoc Scholar of the Year recipient Chris Sara was recognised for his excellence in higher education and for his focus on promoting Indigenous issues in the wider community. Chris reflects on what it meant to receive the award.
Winning the Scholar of the Year award for me was pretty special because in many ways it was recognition of my own individual efforts. I spent some time writing a PhD, and it was a lot of long, lonely hours in my office out the back, away from my kids. And so to get that kind of recognition was pretty special.
2007 Naidoc Scholar of the Year was Yin Paradies. He was honoured for his PhD research, which sought to improve the lives of Indigenous people. He explains how.
I won the award for my research looking into racism as a factor in the health of Indigenous Australians. So a lot of Indigenous people experience racism in their everyday lives, and it impacts on their health. And what I'm really about is trying to understand that and come to grips with that in society. And we use that sort of information then to try and understand how we can address racism. So what can we do to foster respect for Indigenous people in this country?
Like Patrick Mills, Yin hasn't stopped achieving since winning the Naidoc Award. His work in the area of racism is having a real impact on government, as he explains.
So working with a few local governments in Victoria to address racism against Indigenous people and other groups across all the sectors of society, so education, employment, retail sector, and that'll be ongoing over the next 3 or 4 years, and really is the first of its kind in the world, and hopefully the sort of lessons we learn from that can be applied more broadly across local councils in Australia.
Chris has also been continuing important work following his thesis in the area of education of Indigenous children. When asked about this year's theme, honouring our elders, nurturing our youth, Chris had this to say.
This year's theme symbolises the very essence of being Aboriginal, I think. You know, honouring our elders is something that is central to being Aboriginal, because these are the people who walk through the long grass in very difficult times, and they've done so in such a way that they've been able to set up a platform upon which our young people, including myself, can build successful careers and venture out into a modern world.
As Chris points out, Naidoc Week is a time of celebration for all Australians.
Well, for me, I celebrate being Aboriginal every day, but for those who don't know about Naidoc Week, it's a time in which all Australians can stop and reflect and celebrate and get truly excited by the fact that you walk among those who are the descendants of the oldest human culture in the world. That's pretty special.
Yin, Chris and Paddy are worthy recipients of past Naidoc Awards, and they continue to inspire the Indigenous community with their pursuit of excellence. But it's time now to focus on this year's nominees and to find out who will be honoured with the 2009 Naidoc Awards. Good luck and enjoy your night.